All right. Hey everyone. How's it going? Um, I'm back with another stream. It's been about 2 weeks, and I kind of figured let's do another one. I want to do these weekly, but I'm currently not in a place where I can do that. So I figured I'm just going to try and ramp and see what we can do. But today, I've had an idea that has been floating around in my brain for about a month ish. And I just haven't really had time to execute on it yet. So I figured, why don't we try and do this today? I don't know if it's going to work. It could be a bad idea, but why not, right? Why not? We can have fun. We can chat. We can pass the time together. So basically, my idea is I found several KH-9 satellite images of San Francisco. And these particular images, as you can see on the screen right now, they are in infrared or near infrared. I'm not sure exactly. I haven't looked into the film, to be honest with you, but it's near infrared, so it's actually color instead of black and white, unlike most of the other images. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and process these to look like natural color, and then we can have natural color KH-9 imagery of San Francisco from 1979. And I just thought that would be really cool. I hope everyone else thinks that's cool. This is just a test image I did a few weeks ago when I was playing around with it. But the area, I'm going to try and include the whole Bay Area if we can. I think it's partially cloudy down the south, but we'll see what we can do. And worst case scenario, we can just cut out a nice area and make it look good. Hey Ben, yeah, infrared to color. I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but may as well try and figure it out, right? So yeah, and if you guys have any questions related to this or anything else, I'll do my best to answer. I'm happy to chat. Let's just have a chill stream and see what we can get going. So what I want to do is basically, I want to just prepare a few files first. So let me pull these up. We're just going to do some cropping just to crop out the edges of the film because we don't need that. And once those are cropped, we will go and mosaic the images, stitch them all together. Hopefully Photoshop will spit out a nice result. Otherwise we'll have to jump over to PTGUI, I think it's called, from the top of my head. And please, okay, I'm gonna have to get that figured out. And we'll have to do a more complicated stitching process, which is not always fun, but it's worth it when you get these massive images. And it's just, this is what I love to do, right? It's images that haven't been properly processed for the internet yet, and I just want to try and make them available for everyone else. Let's get this going. Okay, a bit of cloud over here, but we can just get rid of that. Cool, like that. I hope everyone's been having a great week. It is Saturday. Yes, okay, I lost track of my days. It is Saturday here in Australia. It's nearly 11 a.m. where I am. So I'm assuming, from the names I've seen in chat, I'm assuming most of you are from the US because I recognize a few of these names. So I hope you all had a good week and having a great Friday night. Cool, that's one of the scenes done. Let's pop it here. We need to get this one. Where did the images come from? Oh, you're an Aussie in USA. No, I didn't. I knew you were in the USA, Ben, but I didn't know that you were from Australia. So that's pretty cool. These images come from the USGS Earth Explorer platform. I can throw a link into chat if you want. Actually, I will do that for you. Because this is an awesome resource. Yeah, I'm getting lost. Here we go. That's where the images all came from. You can get most of them for free as long as they have already been scanned. So if the images haven't been scanned, you do need to pay for them, which I have done a few times. And they're just I can't remember the exact number, but I believe it's in the millions of images. And it's it's a bit of a untangible goal, or I don't know if that's the right word. Bit of a crazy goal of mine is just to process these and georeference as many of them as possible as I can in my life. I wouldn't be shocked if, in the next few years with AI automations and stuff, there's a way to completely automate the process. But for now, it's me sitting here slaving away. But honestly, I don't mind it. It's honestly fairly relaxing. Usually when I'm not streaming and I'm doing this kind of stuff, I just throw on a podcast or some music, and just kind of zone out. It's good fun. So I hope that answers your question. If you don't mind me asking, Ben, whereabouts in Australia are you originally from? I'm in Queensland, near Brisbane-ish. But I also used to live in Perth a long time ago. So long I can barely remember it. But I don't know if we've had a fellow Aussie on a stream yet. So I think that's pretty cool. Hi, Philip. I believe Mason is watching. I believe. What kind of PC? Well, you can get away, depending on what you're doing. You can get away with it on a pretty, mid PC. I've gone a little bit extreme because I tend to do multiple images at once, which requires a lot of RAM and all that kind of stuff. So I have 128 gigs of RAM. I would like more, to be honest, especially when it comes to Photoshop stitching and whatnot. Yeah, but I mean, I got away with doing this stuff with like 16 and 32 gigs of RAM for quite a long time. It'll just slow down the process a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. You could probably even do it with less. Just depends on the processes you're using. The georeferencing of images doesn't take that much resources. QGIS doesn't even use all of my resources, and it drives me a little bit insane. It'll be georeferencing, and my CPU will be set at like 20%. My RAM will be at like 10%. And I'm like, what are you doing? Use all of the resources and just do it quicker. But I don't know, maybe that's just a limitation on the process that they use, the scripts, or I don't know the technical details of all that kind of stuff, to be honest. But it gets the job done. And at least having all the extra RAM and processing power, I can do multiple images at once. Which I guess is like speeding up the process anyway. So, all right, and I believe this is the last one. You moved the house 30 times. I'm probably up about like 20 times. So I'll see if I can catch up to you. From Sydney to Brisbane to Darwin to Adelaide. Wow, you've been everywhere. Yeah, you've been everywhere. That's pretty cool. I really want to visit Tasmania. It looks beautiful. It's right at the top of my list of places to go in Australia. I've been to Sydney a few times and Melbourne a few times, but only for a few days each. Yeah, I had family just recently go out to the outback out by Alice Springs, and they went to Uluru and stuff like that. It looked really cool, especially this time of year when it's not too hot, because I am not a summer person. I don't want to be out there in the sweltering heat. No, thank you. I want to go when it's nice and cold. Okay, all right. So that's all the images cropped. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag these into Photoshop, and we are going to see if Photoshop can automatically align these images and stitch them together. It might be a bit of a process, so I'll have to see if there's something we can chat about or we can do while we're waiting for that. I did think about preparing this ahead of time and getting it all stitched last night, but I was like, I don't want to take away the process. Wow, you drove across Simpson Desert. That's pretty cool. When I moved from Perth to Queensland, I believe we drove the whole way, and I don't know if that's the Simpson Desert. Excuse my lack of geography skills with Australia, but we went across the Nullarbor Plain, and I have very brief memories of just vast nothingness. it's it's quite crazy, especially back then with less communications. Like now, you could just pack up a Starlink in your car, right? And if you needed it, you could break it out and call someone for help or something. But back then it was a lot more limited. So yeah, props to my parents for braving that because I don't know if I would have been brave enough to do that. uh, yeah. Mason. Yeah, you're welcome. No, you weren't a bother at all. Look, trust me, when I started uploading to Soar, I had so many issues, and it's just a matter of just figuring it out. So, if there's anything I or the Saw team can ever help with, please let me know. I'm always happy to help because getting more people interested in geospatial things and satellite imagery, that's what all of this is about. It started off as just all about the satellite imagery. I didn't really want it to be about me, and it still is all about the satellite imagery, but it's also about you know bringing people into this field, I guess. It's not like this is official educational content, but I do hope everyone can learn at least something from each of these streams, even if it's just one little tiny thing. I mean, I'm learning all the time. I learned something a few weeks ago, which I was like, wow, I wish I knew that months ago about different file types and things like that. So there's always time to learn. I like to have the mindset of I don't know anything. I I yeah, I don't want to be that person who thinks they know everything, because especially as the world is always changing, there's always going to be more to learn, etc., etc. Yeah, so please do feel free to reach out, and even if I don't have the answer, I am happy to try and figure out an answer, as long as I have time, etc., etc. Wow, that's right. You do aircraft tracking. I'm trying to remember what everyone does. Keeping up with social media can be a lot. Um, that's pretty cool. Um, I've thought about getting some virtual machines running, but I don't know. I just don't want to complicate things right now. But it would be great for, especially like bulk downloading all this information. It'd be nice just to do that on virtual machines, but that's something for the future when I have more time. I don't really need the headache of that right now. I seem to run into technical issues with everything. Um, but it's something I played with before I had Starlink. I had really, really abysmal internet. We're talking like less than 2 megabits per second down. It was abysmal. And so for a while, I ran some virtual machines and just to download these satellite images, not specifically these ones, but other ones. And then at least I knew, okay, they're in there, and I automatically transferred them over to my Google Drive and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure there were other ways to do it, but that was just the quickest way that myself and my friends could figure out, without it being mega expensive as well. But maybe things have changed since then. What's going on here? Okay, it's cooking. Photoshop is cooking. The Nullarbor is a great drive. Yeah, I would like to go back and do it. It just comes down to time and money and all that kind of stuff. But it would be a great adventure. Do some satellite stuff along the way, maybe. Get some Umbra images, or task some satellites and do something cool. As well as doing some astrophotography. I love to do photography. It's been a little while since I've been able to focus on it, but it'd be great to be out there in the middle of nowhere, no light pollution. You just point the camera at the sky, and just take it all in. Also, I guess it's kind of related to astrophotography, but also just doing like satellite tracking and things like that, trying to spot particular satellites, and that would be a pretty fun stream. I know it doesn't fit in with the rest of my streams, but just being out there at night with a camera and just saying like, okay, and a telescope as well, and just seeing like, okay, what satellites can we spot live in the sky? I don't know if anyone else has already done that, but I would be pretty down to try that, given that everything lines up. Yeah. hmm The Southern Stars are incredible. Yeah, I feel very lucky because where I live, I can just drive 30 minutes and be in middle of nowhere, and it's incredible. Used to spend so many nights out with friends just taking photos and time-lapsing the night sky and whatnot, just having so much fun out there. It's been a while, but I mean, I should do it now because it's the middle of winter, the Milky Way's up in the sky at night. I don't know when the next new moon is, but maybe I should pop out and do that. That would be pretty good. Actually, tonight looks pretty good. Just looking at Stellarium, Milky Way's rising in the east. Beautiful. You're giving me ideas now. But I know we do have some very special stuff down here. And yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I've gone from looking up at the night sky I've gone from looking up at the night sky to looking down from the sky with satellite imagery. So it's all kind of flipped, but it all just comes down to time at the moment. What I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to run out for 1 minute. I'm going to go and boil some tea because my throat apparently is struggling already. And I want to be able to talk for the next hour or two, or however long I'm here. So while Photoshop is churning away, I'm just going to quickly flick you guys to some satellite images. Don't go anywhere. I will be back in like 1 minute and we will carry on. So let's do this. All right, I am back. I have tea. I'm just not used to talking so much. So I feel like every time I do one of these streams, my voice breaks out. It's like, what are you doing? But it's all good fun. All right. So what I want to talk about is what sparked me looking at San Francisco, because as you guys may know, usually I'm looking at space pods and rocket launch sites and all that kind of stuff, NASA facilities and things like that. So recently, I'm a big fan of NASA spaceflight, um, and I've been on their forum for a very very long time, and they have a thread. Let me bring this up on screen. They have a thread on their forum, which talks about aircraft carriers and spy satellites. And I've looked through this thread a million times, and it gave me the idea of, why don't I dig through KH-9 imagery and look at aircraft carriers, as well as KH-4 and KH-7 imagery and things like that. And so I've been on a quest of hunting aircraft carriers and KH-9 imagery. Someone told me I was a little bit insane for that, but I was like, why not? Why not? It's good to mix it up as well, at least for me, because sometimes, when you georeference 10 KH-9 images of Baikonur for, in like a week, it starts to get a bit repetitive. So anyway, let me see if I can find it. After watching that thread, I decided to dig through and find these awesome images of aircraft carriers. Some in the US, some in the Soviet Union at the time, and just tracking. And there are people who are going through and logging. Okay, this aircraft carrier was here, and this was after this mission, but before this mission, or maybe this is just after it was built or when it was being decommissioned. Things like that. So what I would do is I will throw a link to that just in case you guys want to take a look. Actually, I'll change that link to this first post of mine just so you don't get lost. And I've done about 3 or 4 posts, I believe, so far, but just going through and georeferencing them and like all these breakdowns, of everything going on, and then comparing it to, aerial images and images from the ground, things like that. Some more here, like this one is in San Diego, and it was the aircraft carrier is actually moving back into the port, which is pretty awesome. I'm not like a military guy or anything like that, but I think this is pretty cool because the aircraft carriers are huge, and it's just cool to track them. Like with this one, you can see all the jets on the deck of the aircraft carrier and things like that. So yeah, that just kind of sparked me looking, and there are some places in San Francisco where they had aircraft carriers, and while looking at that, I noticed this infrared imagery, and I was like, we could do something with that. So yeah, that's just a little bit of background on that, and I hope you guys find that interesting. This image is slowly getting there. I did see a comment I wanted to talk about. Speaking of astrophotography, I'm super interested in this infrared to color workflow. Yeah. This might be a bit different from astrophotography because, this is also different from just normal infrared satellite imagery, because in that case you have the raw information. Whereas with this, I don't have like the individual bands, if that makes sense. Since it's all film, there's no digital bands. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. I have a little bit of an idea. I might just have to flick some bands around that came from the scan. I don't know how to explain my thoughts on this. But once this image is ready, you know what? Let's pop open QGIS for a second here. Let me just pull up that so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, cool. What I'm going to do is just to make sure this works, because I haven't tested this out, to be completely honest with you. Come into here. I know you can flip bands in Photoshop, but it's always confused me. So we have our red, green, and blue bands. And I'm wondering if I flip one of these. Hey, that looks pretty good. So if I flip my blue band to the green band, you get a pretty accurate representation. It's going to be a bit slow. Oh, actually, that was pretty quick. This is Moffett Field, where they had they got the airship hangars and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. And NASA's right next door with the giant wind tunnels. Nice. So I may have just solved it. So just by flipping the blue band to the green band, it looks pretty accurate. It's a little bit red. that works surprisingly well. I might tweak it a little bit. Let's just try go down to like 10. Okay. Oh, no, that's way too yellow. Okay, 100. No, okay, so we want to go down. It's like, that's again a bit too red. I can't remember what the default was now. Oh no, I've forgotten what the default number was. 49, okay. What happens if we bring this one down? I'm not a color scientist, so I don't really understand exactly everything. But I think that's good, and I'll just have to... I'll probably just bring that to Photoshop and adjust it from there. But I think that's pretty cool. And do a bit... Ah, yes. Okay. The thing is, I don't know how to white balance in QGIS. We'll have to do that in Photoshop. And I haven't done that in quite a while. But this is fun. This is experimentation. And to have you guys here to help me out is going to help, because I know I would overthink it so much. We might be able to... I don't know if I can do it in here. What's Photoshop up to? Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. No. That's no. This is nice. Apart from the bridge. This is nice. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, I'm just gonna think. I need to think. We're missing... There's a lot missing here. This is not good. I want to get that off my screen. Yeah, no, that's not... Okay, I'm just more excited about this right now. What can we do? Okay, we're going to open up PTGUI, which is a panorama mosaicing software. I don't want to update right now. And this is basically just more in-depth. Because Photoshop, you just hit a few buttons and it decides how to do it for you. But with this, you can put control points and control the image. And I'll be honest with you, it can cause headaches. But the results are incredible, usually, if you do it right. And if the software likes the images. We might have to just cut down the amount of images, but let's have a look. Let's see what it comes up with. And at the same time that's churning, I'm just going to export this and see if we can white balance just to high slick 6, just so we can practice. So I'm just going to call this practice and just get ahead of ourselves here. Yeah, that's going to be all right. This is going to be a long process, but getting that coloring is a good first step. We might have to settle just for a smaller area, which if I do, do you think I should just do like the city of San Francisco, or should I go back down to Moffett? Because I mean, coming out to here, obviously this is like, does it include like Silicon Valley and everything? But this has changed a lot. And I feel like this is kind of on brand for me as well, because you got a NASA facility right here. So I feel like this is probably... We can do like a subscale test, right? I think that might be better, instead of wasting an hour trying to mosaic the whole San Francisco Bay. Because this is already struggling. Which I believe that because of that process was Task Manager going to open up. Yeah, I've got 126 of 100. I can show you that, right? Sure, why not? Here you go. 126 of 128 gigs of RAM. So we are struggling. Small quick test. Okay. I'm going to cancel this. And if everything works out, we will come back to this next time. I'm going to quickly restart Photoshop to clear my RAM. Yeah, I like this area. That's a nice area. RAM, yum. I've wanted to upgrade to like 256 gigs of RAM, but that means like a new motherboard and a new CPU and all that stuff. And I don't want to pay for that. Yep. Okay. All right, we've rebooted. Photoshop. We're going to drop this into here. Okay, I'm going to flip it so we're roughly north, facing the correct direction. Okay, so I haven't white balanced in a long time. Actually, I just noticed this is lower resolution than a lot of KH-9 images, it looks like. Just a little bit. This is probably, what, 2 meter resolution or something like that? Ish? Interesting. Maybe it's something to do with a trade-off with the film. Alright, now let's see if I can remember how to white balance in Photoshop. Because it's been a while, to be honest with you. We got a color balance here. Don't they have a tool where you can see the, is it this guy here? What's going on? I've honestly forgotten how to do this. What I might do is honestly, I'm just gonna, don't hate me for this, I'm gonna hit auto color and I'm just gonna see what happens. You know, that's not bad, it's quite blue, but it's still accurate. If I can manage to save that myself with this, usually I just go into levels in here. What do we got? Okay. That's not bad. And, okay, it's gonna look bad at first. I'll be honest with you, I do not enjoy color balancing. My brain seems to get very confused very easy. Okay, there should be a dropper that you can select on it to get white image. This is looking better. It's very dark though. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to boost the brightness here, the exposure, I guess. Words. This is not bad, I must say. Should be a dropper. We got more adjustments. It's color balance I looked at. What else we got? It must be that. Like that looks pretty white. Those highlights look nice and white. At least to me. Those are blown out as well. What I'm gonna do off screen is I'm totally not cheating on how to do this because I just don't want to waste time. Change the color. Okay. That makes sense, but like, okay, let's go back out because I believe the highlights look good. I feel like it's honestly more the shadows, which are a little bit too green. I see your question, Mason. Let me just finish this up and then I will get to that. See if I can help. Thank you for backing me up there, Ben. It's a learning process, right? I know I knew how to do this at one point, but it's just been so long. Using photo filter. Okay. No, I don't think that's right. Let's drop it. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, I know I mentioned this before, but doing like color balance and everything is not my favorite thing in the world. So this also has an eyedropper, right? I honestly don't fully understand how this is working. So, oh, so you set the black point with, okay, I see. So is that the white point? Set the white point, okay. Am I doing that correct? What happens if I, okay, so if I move around. Ah, okay. And what's this? This is my black point. Okay. I don't know if this is going to help, but where's my little scroll bar? You come down here. Let's go up there. Where is Do we even have any crushed areas in here? Probably up in these hills, hey. There's some shadows up there. This is... Okay, there we go. It's getting there. And then there's this guy in here, like that. I assume this is a midtones. Set gray point, which I guess that's the middle. But I don't know what we want to be. Would we want like this runway or something? Nope, that's green. That is green. We don't want that. That's not good. I'm quite happy with this, to be honest with you. I might change the overall brightness and exposure, but probably pump the shadows. But I'm quite happy with that. Looking at the histogram, the reds are a little bit high. We can probably pull those down. But this is looking overall pretty good. The roofs are blurring out, but we might be able to save that with like highlights. That was honestly surprisingly smooth. I was expecting to be sat here for 30 minutes trying to figure it out. Let me just get Mason's question real quick. Where they give two conflicting dates to the images. Interesting. I wonder if there's two conflicting dates. One might be UTC and the other might be your local time. Or maybe it's the time that you downloaded the image. If you want to send me an example of that, I'm happy to take a look and just help figure out what exactly it is. Because it might be something like that. I know I've got. If I can get my words out. I know I've been confused before with satellite images and dates and things like that, because sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. So what I'm going to do is we're going to jump into here and we're going to adjust our shadows and highlights. Please don't do that. That's not very nice. Okay. Just to give it a little boost. And what we're going to do, let's go back into a roof here, down here. Where was that one I was looking at before? This one. I drop my highlights just by like, maybe only like 7%. Okay, it's just a bug. That makes sense. I know everyone's still tweaking everything. What's this? Is that just like saturation? Yeah, it looks like it. I don't want too much saturation. It can look a bit naff, as some might say. I don't want my shadows to be too dark either, especially up in these hills. This is looking really good. I'm honestly very happy. Maybe a little bit red, but that might be the whole infrared part of all of this, to be honest. This is beautiful. I'm happy with this. I am very happy with this. I think we just roll with this. We'll georeference this. We'll see how it goes, how it performs and everything. And I don't know if I'll go through the mosaicing process today, because we'll be sat here for a long time just watching progress bars, and that's not very fun. So I might do that overnight, and then with the next stream we can go in and color process that and then georeference it. So this can just be like the... Please don't show that. This can just be the test run, I think. What are we doing? Which image is this from? I don't remember now. The one with the Moffat in it, not that one. Okay, that one's in 07. Cool. Yeah, that was incredibly smooth. I'm very happy with these results so far. Just keeping an eye on the exposure of it, because I know sometimes I settle a little bit too easily on the exposure, and I just want to make sure I'm happy with it. I might even make it a little bit brighter. I know I just saved it, but I might give it a little kick. Maybe. I don't want to overthink it. No, I'm not going to touch it. It's nothing like it's nothing like astrophotography. I've never done infrared astrophotography. but yeah, it's completely. I know it's a whole other ballpark. I almost bought an infrared filter and things like that for astrophotography, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, um, because it would have been a whole other world. All right, so that's done. Now we can get rid of this and get rid of this, and I will have to jump over to. Don't freeze on me, Q. Just ow, widescreen. Okay. We are gonna pop into here, and I will bring up a georeferencer window. Yeah, I've never got into the color calibration. I cannot speak today. Of my monitors, I thought about it. I was just like, it's fine. It's close enough. Um, all right, let's see. I'm gonna pop. Actually, let me load this up in here so I don't flashbang you guys. Because no one appreciates a white screen just burning into their eyeballs. What are we gonna get? That's not correct. Oh wait, yeah, no, that's not correct. Okay, this one needs to be pushed over to that one. There we go. Okay, now you can see what I'm doing. Cool. So let's just dig into the georeferencing process. The fun part. The area which I'm already afraid of are these mountains down here in the top left, because georeferencing with hills is a nightmare and a pain and a headache, and I do not enjoy it. But it's part of the job, you know. How many monitors do I have? I only have two main ones, and then I have a tablet down here, a Surface, which is just me keeping an eye on the stream, and yeah, I just use that as my auxiliary device, I guess, if that's how you want to describe it. Just so I can do things when my computer is churning on like Photoshop or something, and I don't want to take up any more resources, I'll just pop down here and tap away on that. I've thought about getting an ultra wide to either go under or above my two main monitors, just to have extra things in quick reach, but I don't know if I should be spending money on another monitor. It'd be nice to have some larger monitors, to be sure. To be sure. Okay, words are escaping me today, but for sure, that's what I was looking for. But I don't know. I don't know if I have the room for it. You know, I see people even upgrading to like 27-inch monitors would be nice, but it just comes down to space, really, and I don't know if my monitor arms can support that, so I probably have to buy new monitor arms and things like that. I'm going to leave that corner alone. I've also thought about upgrading to like either 1440 or 4K monitors, but again, it's like, is it really worth it? Do I really need it? Not really. There are better things I can spend my money on. Yeah. Alt tabbing is not fun, and it brings me out of the out of my zone for sure. Especially, I'm a bit of a tab hoarder, and I get shamed for this by people. But where am I at? I'm lost. I am officially lost. Zoom out a little bit. Let's get some context. Okay, down here. That intersection is down here. Cool. Yeah, I get made fun of because I often have like my default for my web browser is like 100 tabs, which I know is probably really excessive, but it's just a lot of like resources and research, and I like just to have it on hand. I don't want to have to go through my bookmarks and open them all up or something like that. I just like to have them there ready to go. It honestly doesn't use that much RAM either. Everyone's like, oh, your RAM is just going to be full all the time, but it really doesn't. Yeah. The aircraft tracking stuff seems insane. I'm just a kid who uses Flight Radar 24 when I hear a plane in my area, and I'm like, what is it? What is it? No, but it's cool. Like I appreciate the work you do with the aircraft tracking and everything else. It's just cool to see. Come on. It's cool to see how everyone uses all the data and all the different things you can do with it. Things I never thought of. You could probably make some pretty cool maps. I'm trying to I should look at your Twitter account really quickly just so I don't say anything that you've been doing this whole time. But you could probably make some pretty cool maps and things like that with the information. Oh, you have a nice screenshot on your banner on Twitter with all the planes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to get too distracted with thinking about planes, but there are probably some really cool maps you could make if no one has already made them. All right, I've gotten lost. I zoomed in way too far, way too quickly, and I don't know where I am right now. Airport. Where's the airport? Where are you at? You're down there. Cool. There's that dip in the highway, freeway, whatever it is. Awesome. I will check that out a bit later. I don't want to get too distracted right now. Where are we at? Oh boy. Okay, there's that river that comes down into there. There's that road that swoops into there. Okay, we want to be like down here, down here. There's the baseball field. Okay, cool. Yeah, I found that when I get too distracting and go down too many rabbit holes, then we end up with like a 4-hour stream. I get nothing done, which is fun. I guess it's all part of the fun of being live and hanging out with people. Oh, yeah, you can't see everything. Okay. How am I going to do this? Because these windows are sharing. Okay, so it's just sharing windows right now instead of entire screens. But I can share my entire screen. Actually, I can do it on. Okay, sorry. So basically, what I'm doing is, so you probably can't see the pop-ups that are coming up. So I'm coming through. I'm getting lost now. There's a golf course somewhere. Cool. Is that golf course? Not exactly. Down here. Okay. So basically, I'm just finding the same location on the map, which is probably the obvious part. And let me just make sure I'm displaying my screens in the right order. Yes, I am. So on the right screen, this is obviously the KH-9 image, and I find a spot which is a spot that hasn't changed and is easily recognizable. So I click in the middle of this cul-de-sac over here, and then you can't see it, but there's a little window that pops up on my left screen. And it's just telling me, hey, now click where you want to place a point on Google Maps. So it's like the real coordinates, I guess. So this cul-de-sac here is the same as where I placed the point on this cul-de-sac, if that makes sense. And so now those two are linked. So it knows, okay, the cul-de-sac on the right is exactly where the cul-de-sac on the left will be. Yeah, sorry. Thank you for giving me that reminder, because I know I tend to just get in my zone and I just pour through it. I know I've done that on other streams and people are like, Harry, what are you doing? So I appreciate being slowed down, because I just kind of get into the flow and I just roll. And so what I try to do, it's not always possible, but I try to run just into the corners at first, just to get situated, just so I know the bounds of the area I'm looking at. And where are we going in here? I don't know if these dirt tracks still exist. They do. Look at that. The trees are grown up quite a bit. So I'm going to go for, there's like a shed here, which doesn't exist anymore, but this like driveway thingy is still here. So I'm going to go like right in the middle of this intersection on the KH-9 image. Then I come on over and somewhere about there. You only need to be close enough. How many points do I need? Well, It depends on the size of the image. If you're doing like a small area, let's just say, I don't know, like an airport or something. If it's a straight top-down image, you could get away with like 4 points. You could just do one in each corner. When it's at an angle, things start to change because obviously your view is different, so you need to like stretch the image across the map. If I'm explaining that well, so you might need a dozen, maybe 20 or 30, something like that. With this one, I'm probably going to total around 75 to 100, especially with these hilly areas. And I know the San Francisco area isn't the most flat. So the more hills you have, if you want to be super accurate, you're going to need more points because it's hard to explain it with words. And I could probably show you with an image if I had one on hand. But with hills, obviously you're rolling, and you put a flat image on top of that. It's not going to look like it's in the right place, especially when it's taken from an angle. So you kind of need to put some on top of the hill and then some on the bottom of the hill. And you kind of accept that the hill itself is not going to be exactly in the right spot. So you just kind of adjust for terrain and things like that. And with the points themselves, you never want to put them on top of a building because, of course, as the satellite or the airplane, whatever is taking the image, as the perspective has changed, the top of the building's going to go back and forth and whatnot. So you want to make sure you always do it like at ground level. And that allows the building to shift up top, if that makes sense, but it's still anchored on the ground points, if that makes sense. Yeah, the curve of the earth and terrain, things like that. Yeah, and I've done some of Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. And these are mosaics of like, probably like what I was trying to mosaic before with like 16 frames. So it's covering, I mean, I could even pull it up just to show you. Let me just go and grab that for you because it's really cool. I'm just going to plug my website here because why not? We'll just jump over to here like this. Let's say Baikonur, and I gotta remember which one it was. It was definitely a KH-9. Oh, which individual image was it? I don't remember which one it was. What's that one? Might be this one. That's not it. I don't want to be here forever, but let's just say it's this one. Yeah, okay. I think this is a mosaic of 3 different KH-9 images put together. And so this is a massive, massive area. This is huge. You know, you can see that scale bar on the bottom right, 10 kilometers. This is probably like 100 kilometers across or something. And what, like 40 or 50 kilometers up. So whatever the math is on that huge area. I think that was like 300 points. So I probably spent like 3 or 4 hours. Not in one sitting. I took breaks, but probably like 3 or 4 hours of. I go around the edges with images like this just to get a nice border, so you know where it is, and then you just go in the middle. And like I would come in and do, do all the points of interest. So like these. Come on, internet, don't fail me now. Once this loads, there's like a giant hangar here, and I would go through all the launch pads and things like that, and just pick the right points. Excuse my slow connection, but I hope that makes sense. It's definitely a process of trial and error. I used to do way too few points, and my images would just be a mess. And I've redone a lot of them since then, just because I wasn't very proud of exactly how they looked. But yeah, no, I do hope that helps because I'm not really used to explaining it. Like I said, I just kind of just get into my zone. Okay, so with that all said and done, we now have our corners, and I put one at the base of the mountain down here. I know you can't really see my cursor. I should get a bigger cursor when I'm streaming. But what I'm going to do is there's a process where now that we have these anchor points, we can link these 2 screens together. So as you saw before, I had to go through and manually move each screen and try to find the same location. But now that it has a rough sense of where everything is, it's not going to be perfect, but I can come up to here and these two buttons on the right screen. And I can either, how do I explain this without confusing you? I can click this button, and as I zoom in on the KH-9 image, it'll bring Google Maps with me. So, come on, you can do it. You can do it. There you go. So it gets us roughly in the right location. And the more points I put down, the more accurate it's going to be. So if I come over to like, it's going to be a little bit slow. I should have put these images on an SSD before doing this. I didn't think that through. But if I come into the mountains, actually, that's surprisingly good. It is crazy good. And I didn't know about this for the longest time. I probably processed like 50 of these images, and I didn't know about this. I was like, when I found out about it, I was like, man, this could have saved me so much time. And I was just shocked at how accurate it was, just from what is that? What did I put down? Like 7 points or something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 points, and it's that accurate. It's crazy. So, yeah, it's an amazing tool. It's just a bit of a grind from here. We'll go around the edge of the image, and then pop some down in the middle, especially where there's hills. So KH-9, this is 1979. I think, when did they start? They started taking images with KH-9 in like 69, I think. Or was it early 70s? I don't know, something like that. And then they ran until 1984. So this is more on the tail end when they were expecting. That can't be right. What? I'm curious. Did I misspeak something? Because 84. Did I accidentally put out a wrong year when I was speaking? I wouldn't be shocked. Okay, on my website, the earliest KH-9 image is 1972. Okay, there we go. And the newest one is 1984. I'm not sure exactly when the first image was taken, but I would imagine it's probably around 72, maybe 71. And then, but they initially started, like, the KH-1 was like only like 63. It was really early into the space flight. Like, I was shocked when I found out. I was like, wow, this is only like a few years into everything happening. But let's try and just get a start. I'm just going to plop one here because this is a point of interest and I want it to be accurate. And I can come in here and refresh my link, and you'll see the image adjust. I don't know if I made that very clear, but let's just reposition it. So it was like down here before, and as I refresh the link, it adjusts to the correct location. So now it's just more accurate. So I'm just going to get up, and we're going to start in this top left, right? And it's usually like the best things for me are just intersections. Of course, sometimes roads do change, but these intersections look like they've been pretty much the same throughout all these years. So you just kind of plop one right in the middle of the intersection, and it's good to go. Here, I just enjoy seeing how much things have changed over the course of time. There are these power line thingies out here. Yep. Yeah, they had like these little capsules. I mean, you just Googled it, so you know, but they had like these little capsules, and they would just jettison them off the satellite, and they would re-enter a parachute. Plane comes in and scoops it out of the sky. Incredible. And on the capsules, what they had were like I think they were these plugs in the capsules made of salt. And so if they couldn't catch it for some reason, when it lands in the ocean, they have like, I don't remember how long the plugs lasted for, but they lasted, let's say, a day, right? And then so they had 24 hours to get to the capsule in the ocean and recover it. But they didn't want it to last forever because, of course, then at the time the Soviets could have gone and recovered their film. So the salt plug dissolves in the salt water and then it sinks. So if you don't recover your film, it's gone forever, pretty much, which is just insane. You got to respect that engineering, and that's one of those things you have to think about. It's like, what happens if the capsule does splash down? We can't get to it for some reason, and then our enemies get to it, and then they have, at the time, some of the best satellite imagery. The KH-9 satellites were insane. They got like, their resolution was something like 10 centimeters or something like that. Like it was absolutely nuts. And that hasn't been declassified yet. I think they released like a few images, but I don't know if they were even full resolution. But I would love for those to be declassified. I know there's a bunch of like Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan with the N1. Oh, that's not there anymore. With the N1 moon rocket on the pad. I think there's one on Wikipedia actually that they declassified. I would love to dig through those. And I was digging through the reports from the KH-9 satellites, and they're talking about like, oh yeah, we saw the rockets being moved to the pad. We saw evidence of rocket parts arriving and things like that. I just want to get my hands on these images so bad. So maybe we need to petition to get those declassified and published or something. That would be really cool. Which one was the one that was like Hubble? That was KH-11, I believe. And I could be wrong, because obviously we don't know much about the current spy satellites, but I believe they're still kind of in that form factor of just a big tube, kind of like Hubble. And I assume the mirrors have gotten a little bit bigger, because they've been launching on like Delta IV Heavy, which has, what is that, like a 5-meter diameter fairing? So maybe they have like 4-meter mirrors on them now or something like that, instead of Hubble was like 2 meters, right? So things like that, you could probably have a spy satellite with a extendable telescoping barrel, I guess, if you want to call it that. Hey Shep29, thanks for stopping by. We're just hanging out and georeferencing so originally it was a infrared KH-9 satellite image, but we attempted to flip it into true color like this, and it looks pretty good. So right now we're just georeferencing it, and we're just going to see how it goes, talking about spy satellites and all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah. So yeah, back before digital, right? Well, I guess they could have done it digitally, but the technology wasn't there. You just couldn't have the full, I guess, the bandwidth really. And I don't know what imaging sensors were like back then, but yeah. I think the first digital ones, like in the 80s, which is probably when they started launching like the KH-11s. What was the KH-10? I have no memory of that. Maybe that was just like a precursor to the 11 or something. Well, obviously it was, because it came before it, but more of a test bed for that road has gotten a lot bigger. I'm not going to trust that. What do we got? This has changed a lot. Used to be all farms, now it's all residential. There's a golf course that was there at the time. This residential area is about the same. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's just wild. Imagine they were still doing that today, going out and catching these capsules. And I'm honestly surprised they didn't just try to get the capsules to land at somewhere like White Sands or Edwards, like they're doing now with when OSIRIS-REx came back with the asteroid sample return. That landed at White Sands, right? Just a little parachute under, a capsule with a parachute, and they just drove out and recovered it. Maybe the entry control, the computers weren't small enough to fit in a small capsule at that time, or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, KH-10 was going to be crewed, right? Because it never happened. So that was manned orbiting laboratory, right? If I remember correctly. And yeah, I know people talk about like, what if that actually happened? But I'm pretty sure it didn't happen because that was going to launch on. Was that going to launch on Space Shuttle out of Vandenberg? Yeah, and it was going to launch out of Space Launch Complex 6, but then I think, was that when Challenger happened and they just decided not to do it? Something like that. Launch on Titan. Wait, so the crew launched on Titan as well? Or did like, I don't know. Please educate me while I do this. I want to learn. Because if I'm being completely honest, I never really looked into MOL too much because it never happened. So, whoa, that building is new. I've mostly focused on things that have happened. And when it's just like things that haven't happened, I'm just like, I think it's cool. It's really cool, but I just don't like to spend too much time on it. I like to focus on what has happened. Where are we at? This does not exist anymore because they built a very big bird. Very big bird. Wow, this has changed so much. Is this right? Is this the right area? I think it's just changed that much. This is down here, right? Okay. Cool. In 1969. Wow. Wow. I didn't know it was that early. Oh wait, the one from Vandenberg, I believe that was going to be like a satellite capture mission where they wanted to do like a once around orbit, right? I hope I'm not screwing this all up, but I'm pretty sure they wanted to like launch and on the first orbit capture a satellite and then bring it back down before they completed that first orbit or something like that. Something crazy. Which may have been related to spy satellite stuff. I'm not entirely sure. That would have been a wild story, but yeah, it's just changed. Yeah, so much. That's what throws me off. Sometimes it changes so much. I'm like, is this the correct location? You can see these two buildings up here. Those are obviously the same. Mm. Oh boy, I'm glad I took a break to make that tea. My voice would not have survived. All right. Cool. Cool. We are learning. My brain is ingesting information. This is good. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. So how many points do we have so far? GCP table. 37 points. I'll keep that up. So each of these on the right-hand side, let me just check. Okay, cool. You can see that. Each of these is all the points that I've placed so far. And if we just zoom out, you can kind of, actually, on the left screen is better. You can see all the red points along the Google map. Is that right? I'm not sure if that is right. Why? It looks like it just juts out and then comes back in all of a sudden. I feel like something's up here. Yeah, look, this is. I think I may have got a little bit off track over here. Yeah, no, that's not correct. Okay, I'm glad I caught that. That's good. Yeah, that's way off. This guy's got to come down to here. Is that correct? Yes, because there's that big building. That's a parking garage thing. Okay, we got a little bit off track, but that's fine. we recognized it before I hit the process button. Because I cannot tell you how many times I've gone through and fully processed an image only to find I made a mistake. And that building is that building, which means here, here, and there. That one needs to come into here, like that. I don't know how I got so off track. What was I doing? Probably just not focusing. That guy comes into here, like that. Wow. Yep. I got very off track. That looks correct. This is where it all went wrong. This one here. That's the one. You can come up here and so on the right screen you have this option, which is to add points, and then you have this one to delete points. And so you can just go through and why not? I'll just do it. You click on the point and it's gone. You can also just come over here on the table on the right hand side, and you can just hit delete on that, as long as you know which one you're doing. Let me just do something. Let me just show. There we go. So you should be able to see the points a little bit easier now. There will be a little label there. So that's 1, 2, which goes into here like that. Boom, that's 0.37. I hope that makes it easier to see. And then next to the delete button, you have a move tool, which is what I was using just before. And you can just, if you accidentally put it in the wrong place, you can just drag it and say, oh, I was meant to go to that intersection. Like that. I mean, you can also do it on this side as well. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on that intersection because that's closer to the edge. And boom, like that. I hope that makes sense. Just trying to remember to explain everything. Okay, that looks better. So we can see on the left screen, it looks more of a straight line now. And on the right screen, it's pretty much a straight line. Before, this was all like coming out this way. I was like, that doesn't make sense. So I hope that kind of clarifies that process. And we'll just keep going around the edge here. We'll probably get to, I'm going to say we'll get to about 60 points just going around the edge. And those hills on the southwest side are what worries me the most. That's where the headache's going to be. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not worry about that now. We can deal with that when we get to it. Otherwise, I'm just not going to want to do this. So let's just roll in. Nice intersection in here. Coming in, placing a point over here. Yeah, I know I turned those on last stream. I don't really like to have them on when I'm working on my own, so I switched them off, but I just forgot to turn them on for this stream. So I've also looked into trying to change the cursor because I know on the right screen right now, that little cross cursor is so tiny, it's hard to see, especially on stream. But I haven't figured out a way to do it that is simple. It's a lot of it's like changing the code of the QGIS or whatever, and I don't want to get into that. That's not my area of expertise, and I don't want to break anything. But yeah. Actually, hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. I did install a plugin. I'm just curious. Very curious. Oh, that's way too big of a cursor. No way. No way. What happens if I just had a... Oh, that's better. Okay, we're going to use this cursor. Is that easier for you guys to see? It's just a slightly more chunky cursor with a precision marker on it, so I can know exactly where I'm going to place. It's funny because it makes the cursor feel heavier to move around. I know that's all psychological, and I probably sound like a lunatic saying that, but having a bigger cursor makes it feel like it's more difficult to move around. That's funny. Um, cool. Yeah, I hope this is fun. I hope the stream is nice and stable. Um, I've learned a lot since the first stream, which had some bumpy issues. And then I believe, what was it, like the second or third stream, we ran into a bunch of technical issues, which was quite funny, to be honest. I wasn't like embarrassed or ashamed of that. It was kind of fun to problem solve on the fly. What was destroying my internet connection at that time? All right, we got a mine up here. What do we got? There's some buildings. I'm gonna go with this little shed guy. It looks pretty beat up now. But I'm gonna say there. I'm gonna say that is that. That looks close enough for me because that big shed wasn't there. It's just close enough. I'm not gonna worry about those tracks too much. There are some things up here. I'm not sure what these are. What do we got? Is that like cell tower equipment or something? Those look like radio antenna things. I have no clue what those are. Actually, if you look at the shadows, you can get more detail. I'm going to say those are cell towers, but I know nothing about this. It's very stable and your audio is great. Awesome. I'm glad the audio is great. I know this is a very common thing, but I just don't like to listen to my own voice too much, so I've never listened to how the audio quality is, but I've had people say like, yeah, it's good. I'm like, okay, is that like, it's average good or it's like really good? Like, I've never really fine-tuned my microphone. I just got it out of the box, plugged it in, and let it rip. So I'm glad to hear it's good. I wonder who's going to get excited about antennas. If you want to try and track those down, if that's something that interests you, I would be interested to know what those are used for. But of course, you don't have to. Just a bit of a curiosity. They recently actually installed a new cell tower antenna thingy near me. And where I live, we've never had the greatest reception. So if I lose Wi-Fi, I have like no connection to the outside world. But they put a new one in recently, and I cannot tell you how great it is. We had our power go out a few weeks ago, and I still had connection to the outside world. It wasn't great. I'm not going to do that driveway. That's abysmal. It wasn't great, but it's better than nothing, I can tell you that. This looks to be about the same. Awesome, crystal clear. Yeah, my accent doesn't bother me too much. It's usually the fact that naturally I'm someone who mumbles. I'm a bit of a lazy talker. Maybe that's an Australian thing. I'm not too sure. But I definitely mumble, like especially when I'm in casual conversation with someone. Like right now, I am aware of how I'm talking, so I'm trying to talk clearly. But I'm very much just a lazy talker in general. So I'm glad it sounds good. Yeah, that's good to hear. That road has changed a lot. I'm not going to trust that. This is like a university or something. It looks like big building. I wonder if this roof actually used to be red, or if that's something to do with the infrared. You could do like historical on Google Maps to figure that out, but I'm not gonna waste time. So much has changed. I'm gonna do this corner of the building. I cannot tell where the bottom is, but the angle doesn't look too steep. What's Google got going for it? That's pretty much straight down. Okay, so I'm just gonna go like that. Close enough. We don't have NBN. Surprise, surprise. They stopped laying the lines they stopped connecting houses about 800 meters from where I live, which is great because the road that I live on is just, yeah, for some reason we're not high priority, and we cannot get NBN wireless because we have a hill in between us and the antenna thingy, and the satellite NBN satellite is abysmal because that's geostationary satellite. We were on that before we had Starlink, and it was better than I think we were on like DSL, like really old DSL, or something like that. I'm not super technical with internet, so do forgive me if I get these terms wrong, but it was like abysmally old. And yeah, we were on the geostationary stuff, which was better than what we had before, the old copper wire or whatever it was, but just the latency, and it was so unstable, so unreliable. So when Starlink came around, we kind of waited for a while because we weren't entirely sure, but we've had it for about a year and a half now, and I cannot tell you, like, just like like everyone, like my family, you know, they're like, oh, this is so great, like everything loads so quick, and I'm like, yeah. But also just for what I'm doing, you know, downloading massive files all the time, that's not going to work. That road changed. It really is a lifesaver. And it's not just because, you know, it's Starlink, SpaceX. Like if it was OneWeb or Kuiper or whatever, you know, I'd be saying the same thing, but it really is a game changer. And it's a little expensive for my taste, but it's worth it. I don't trust that L hasn't moved, so that L's probably moved. All right, so we've done a whole, what is that? Circumference? Is that the correct terminology? We've gone around the edges of the image, so I'm pretty happy with that. 61 points, so that's pretty good. Next, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to go around the base of this hill because I just want to keep that hill in place. I don't want it to destroy anything else on this image. Yeah, we're in the Twilight Zone. Like everything is around us, but we can't use it. So Starlink really did save our butts there. And even that has improved so much. The speeds have gotten a little bit slower as more people have gotten it in the area, but it's still great. Usually get around 100 megabits down, which is all I really need. Yeah. When we first had it, it still had dropouts. So every like 5 minutes, you would lose like 10 seconds of connection or something like that, which was, it didn't really bother me that much, but it's improved so much. It's rock solid now. You wouldn't even think it was satellite internet. It's pretty good. My only thing with Starlink is just, I would like double the upload speeds. Right now we get somewhere between like 10 and 15 megabytes. I would like to boost that up to like 30, you know, just to, like, just streaming this is sometimes pushing it. But it sounds like it's been stable. So yeah, that's good. I'm happy to hear that. That big building is not there anymore. Okay. What about that guy? That's like a big mansion thing. That's a nice building. That's a really nice building. But yeah, if Starlink came out with like a cheaper plan, that would be great. But really, really no complaints. That's a really cool plan, Mason. I hope it works out and so you can get the images. Let me know if you need any help, if you want any suggestions or anything like that. I am more than happy to help out. You know what? I might even be able to do something with Umbra and get like a radar image and we can compare that to an optical image or something. That could be pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to ignore that mountain for now. I'm just not going to worry about that. We're just going to go through and we're going to pull up some points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys something I usually do. I think I mentioned this on the last stream, but I'm not sure if everyone here right now was there for that. My tea is getting cold. It makes me sad. All right. I'm just going to get this ready on another screen and then I'll pull it up so you can see what I'm talking about. Cool. All right. where is OBS? Cool. All right. So what I like to do is I like to pull up a topographic map or elevation map, whatever you want to call it, of the area. And if it loads. Oh, no. Okay. While I refresh this, I like to bring up a elevation map of the area. Here we go. So I can see where I need to focus my attention the most. So obviously this hilly area, where's the mine? There's the mine, I think. Yeah, so the areas where there's more hills is where I want to focus on the most, because just keeping, like I was mentioning before, when you have terrain and elevation, things like that, that's what messes your image up a bit. So I really want to focus on this bottom left corner. I don't know if this little thing here is also in the image. I'll have a look at that when I switch back. But otherwise, pretty much everything else looks pretty flat, which is nice. That makes my life so much easier. There's a little bit of elevation over here on the right side, a few little bumps over here, but otherwise it's pretty chill. So yeah, the points are going to be more dense where there's hills. And let's just switch back over to this. And QGIS. Cool. All right. So as you can see, we've done all through there. That's pretty good. I'll probably do a second layer over here. And then I'll just scatter some points in the middle. And just make sure everything is nice and anchored, happy, stable, all that good stuff. And then we'll probably hit the big scary button to process this, I reckon. Okay, trees, that's in there. Is that intersection? Close enough. Close enough. All right. Yeah, what I also want to do is I want to open up like a Google form or something like that and throw it in the description of these streams and just get location requests that you would like to see me process, whether it's on a stream or just something I do on my own time. And you know, there's never I can't get my words out again. There's never a guarantee that I can do it, because sometimes there's just no images available, or maybe they're all cloudy or something like that. But I figured it'd be cool just to have like a little requests area, because sometimes I'm like, what image do I do next? But then if I have a nice list, that's just something to run on. I have like a folder of probably like 50 downloaded scenes from all over the world, and I'm like, I don't want to do that one today. Like, I don't want to do that, and I'm like, oh, why can't I just pick an area? I want to go grab a new one that I haven't done yet, and things like that. So having you guys pick an area would definitely probably motivate me more, instead of me just sitting there trying to choose from one. Maybe I should tweet out earlier about the stream and just put a little poll or something. Pick between these four, and then we'll do that. Usually these streams are pretty last minute. I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what? I might have time to do it. It's a Saturday. It's nice and quiet. I can just chill. And yeah. Yeah, let's hope that there's no clouds out there for the issue. Clouds ruin so much for optical images. That building's not there anymore. I should look before I start placing points. That building is still there. That's a nice big building. Yeah, the amount of times I want to see something in satellite imagery, and there'll be a cloud. The only cloud in the area will be parked right where I want to see. And it just makes me want to curl up and cry. But that's the beauty of synthetic aperture radar with Umbra, just piercing through those clouds. And I know it's a little confusing for people who aren't too familiar with the the imagery itself. But if you're doing analysis of like a launch site, and that's all changed so much, I'm not going to be able to do much. If you're doing analysis of a launch site and you want to see, construction happening or something, it really is great for that. And then you can point out to people like, hey, this is a new clearing of land, or look, there's like 20 trucks out here getting ready to move a bunch of dirt out or something like that. That's the fun stuff. Also, for ship tracking has been incredibly wonderful. Just passing over different ports like Port Canaveral or Port of Long Beach in LA. Even in China, just tracking their spaceflight related vessels has been a big help, because a lot of the time in these places it's very cloudy, especially in China. Certain times of the year it's just cloud, and there'll be a cloud parked right over the dock that you want to look at to find these ships supporting rocket launches. I'm like, man. So I'm very thankful for Umbra for supporting me. They've been absolutely amazing, great friends of mine, awesome company. And just in case anyone watching isn't aware, Umbra do have a way that you can request images. I believe, I don't know if it's pinned on their Twitter profile, but they have like a Google form, and you can go submit a location that you want an image of, and they'll go take an image of it and post it to social media. So it's like free satellite imagery. And if you're interested in the raw files, they will dump those in their AWS catalog, and you can download those and play with the imagery. It's really, really cool. Like even 5 or 10 years ago, all the big satellite companies would have been terrified. Like, we're going to let you task our satellites and give you the raw files afterwards? No way. But, I guess that's the beauty of having companies, these commercial companies who are like, yeah, we'll give away our satellite imagery to anyone who wants to use it, with an open license and things like that. That's pretty awesome. Oshkosh. Okay. That's a familiar name to me. I've heard about that. Yeah, I can that roundabout wasn't that. I can try to keep an eye on that and see if there's anything I can do from my side. That's a nice little roundabout thingy right there. This is good. We are making good progress. Look at that, 92 points so far. This is awesome. Cool. How long has this stream been going for? We've been going for... What's my timer? 2 hours already? Holy moly. Wow. Okay. Damn. We might be needing a camera battery swap soon, because I still haven't bought an AC adapter to plug in my camera to a power source so that I could switch off at any point, because I think it lasts about 2 hours. So that might be a good opportunity for me to go and grab more tea and grab a snack to boost my energy levels, get my brain working properly, and yeah. Never been. Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. It looks incredible. We don't have... Where's my... Whoa. Lag. Huge amounts of lag all of a sudden. Is that just my mouse? Oh yeah, that was just my mouse. Okay. Low battery. That's why. Okay. Let me plug in my mouse. Whoopsie. That's not the end of the world. Alright. Luckily I can still use it while it's charging. Yeah, no, I've heard about how large that is, and if I'm correct, didn't Jared Isaacman fly there last year with the Polaris crew? I seem to remember him taking his MiG out there and some of the Alpha jets. That was pretty cool. Actually, you know what? I believe Umbra has a radar image of Oshkosh from last year, if I'm not mistaken. Look, I did miss some areas over here. Is this okay? All right. I can't remember if I said this before, but I was just thinking it. I wish Australia had an air show like that. Like, we do have some, but they just, I don't know, they don't excite me that much. We used to have I remember going to one years ago when I was a kid, and it was really good, but I don't think they do it anymore for some reason. But I don't know, maybe I should still go to one and just enjoy it. So that's 100 points. 100 points in. Oh boy. I just want to plop some more down here. Oh, he's going to be there this year as well. That's awesome. That's awesome. Jared is a really cool guy. Last night when I was processing some imagery, I was watching the Two Funny Astronauts episode, where they were talking with the Polaris crew and Jared. That was hilarious and just always good to hear what crazy astronauts are up to, you know. Just absolutely wild and inspiring people. So much respect for them. That does not really exist anymore. That intersection is there, so that's good. What I'm going to do is I'll just get to the north end of this edge, and then I'm going to take like a 3-minute break or something. Refresh my... That's not there anymore. That's not there anymore. That train line's still there, but the roads have all changed. That's a big factory. That's still there, but it's changed. What do we got over here? Is any of that similar? Yeah, those Two Funny Astronaut shows are absolutely hilarious. I remember when they originally started, what was that, like probably like 2 years ago? And it was just my favorite series. Just good to put that on and just hear their wild stories of the things they've done in astronaut training and even on their missions. Things that people just don't really hear about. That's great. Okay. So what's that? That's 105 points. Ooh. And we are 2 hours and 8 minutes into this stream. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to quickly grab a snack. I'm going to refill my tea so I can still talk. And what I might do is we'll probably just go through this edge area up here because, of course, that's lacking in points. And then we'll just sprinkle some throughout here just to make sure everything's in the right place. So yeah, please do hang around. But if you need to like go grab a drink or take a little break, that's all good. But I will be back in like 3 minutes. And I'll throw you to some satellite imagery. And you know what? I want to see who can get the most right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to count them all because I'm going to be running around, but I want to see people guessing the locations. And you know what? I'll give bonus points to anyone who guesses the satellite, the specific satellite that took them. That's probably impossible, but I like a challenge. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back. And my camera's out of focus because I touched it. Okay, cool. I'm re-energized. I have more tea. I just saw that there is a Falcon launch in like less than an hour, right? So what I might do is, in 42 minutes. Let's see if we can get this image finished before the launch, and then maybe we can close it out just by watching the launch, because why not? Who doesn't like to watch a rocket launch? Just move a few things around here. Okay, cool. All right. So, what I want to do is, I went to the wrong screen. We want to go to that screen. Okay. So let's just go around like the edge of the bay here. Like that. Okay, cool. I got to get back into the zone. I was in the zone before, and now I'm out of the zone. So we just got to get back into it. I did an image of this area maybe a month or two ago. I think it was an older one from like maybe like 72 or something. And I was just shocked at how much has changed. Like, I know it's been like nearly 50 years or something, or over, depending on when the image was taken, but 50 years plus or minus however many. And just insane seeing how much has changed. It's really, really impressive to see. I don't know, it just kind of fascinates me, to be honest. Yeah. So that one's done. More Starlink, yeah. Does that make my internet quicker? Please. Yeah. So these buildings are new at the time. New. There was an intersection here. Boom. Okay. I gotta be honest. Like, I used to. Okay, so this is the whole thing. It's gonna sound like I'm like being a Mr. Grumpy or whatever, but like I used to watch every single rocket launch I could. If there was a stream for it, I would watch every single one. But now I'm just kind of at the point where I just watch it like if I'm around, or if it's like a very special mission. And to me, that's a very good thing, because if SpaceX is making rocket launches boring, in quotation marks, that's a good thing to me. the fact that I don't feel like I need to watch every single Starlink launch. I don't need to wake up at 2 a.m. and watch a launch. Like that's great because you know they're doing how many launches a year? They're aiming for like 130 launches this year or something. Like that's pretty incredible, and making it routine is a very good thing. Like I've said this to some people before, and they think I'm like hating on them or something, but really, I want launches to be boring. If launches are boring, that means we're doing it right. Um, I've watched Chinese launches on streams, if that's what you're referring to. Um, I really enjoy watching the Chinese crew launches. I think those streams, honestly, like I think those streams are really well done. Of course, there's like propaganda and all that, yada yada yada. But I think they're right up there with the NASA SpaceX streams for the crew launches. Incredibly well done. There's like great cinematography and everything like that. So many great camera views, and I think they're just very well done. And I kind of wish they got some more attention for that. I know that there are some issues with like politics and all that kind of stuff, but if you take all that away, they're great missions. Great to watch. Very informative as well, and yeah, I like space flight. I like rockets, regardless of who's launching them. It's just kind of like if you're doing it for space and you're not actively trying to hurt someone in the process of it, then yeah, I like watching rocket launches. Um, yeah, it's cool. I like seeing more people in space. I like seeing more scientific missions. Um, even the boring things that a lot of people tend to forget about, like new launch pads being built. Um, I love that kind of stuff. More infrastructure. It's cool. It's inspiring. Um, yeah, I don't know. Kind of a ramble there, but um, I like space, and as long as we're going to space for the right reasons, then I am all for it. And I hope we see more like collaboration in space. I believe India is gonna send. I don't know if it was confirmed or if it's just a rumor, but there's a rumor of like India sending some people to the space station, some of their astronauts or something like that. Or maybe that was the Axiom thing. I don't quote me on this because I'm doubting myself now, but that would be pretty cool. Because I know India is planning to launch crew before 2030 or something like that in the next few years. Yeah, it's just very cool. Copenhagen Suborbital, I don't follow them that closely, but I follow them on Twitter and probably on YouTube and stuff. I remember watching one of their streams where they did like test firings, like rocket engine testing or pre-burner testing or something on a live stream. That was pretty fun. I had a hoot watching that, and they were just very chill and very open about everything. They seem like good people, and they have a very cool mission. And I wish them the best because, yeah, like more companies, the better. I think. Um, I think it's easy for people to get caught up on one company because obviously that certain company, SpaceX, is absolutely dominating the industry right now. But I think more players, the better. We need competition because that's how we get advancements and that's how we get really cool stuff. So, yeah, I think everyone deserves to be cheered on, even if those companies have made mistakes in the past or something like that. I think we need all of them. Yeah, more spaceflight, the better. Especially as we approach, this Artemis program really kicking into gear. There's going to be a lot of different companies involved. I mean, but there already are a lot of companies already involved, and it's just going to be. We're coming up on like very exciting times. For spaceflight fans, and there's going to be a lot of new spaceflight fans over the next few years, and yeah, it's a very exciting time, and even just for how it helps out the commercial satellite companies. For me, like that's a big interest of mine. Launch prices coming down makes it more accessible. Um, yeah, it's just a very very exciting time. Yeah, people who are truly space enthusiasts are able to love more than one rocket, more than one company, more than one satellite, whatever it is, more than one space station. You know, um, you can see the flaws in those things. It's like a lot of us space fans, we love the space shuttle because it's beautiful, it's iconic, it's historic, but it had its issues, and you know that's quite obvious. And you don't ignore those issues, but you can still love it for what it did achieve and how beautiful and iconic it was. Yeah, just because there's like one or two things wrong with it, or it's done something bad in the past, doesn't mean you have to hate everything it's done. There are certain companies out there who have made some not so great PR choices in the past, and that's a reality that we can't run away from. But it seemed like just because they've made those mistakes, I don't think we should hold them to that all the time. We should encourage them to be better instead of beating them into the ground over it. Um, I like to think about it like if your friend made a mistake, you wouldn't want to just hate them for the rest of your life. You'd want to at least try to encourage them to be like, hey, like you can do better than this. Like, come on. That's how I like to think about it. And I've kind of ranted to many people about that over the last few years. Some people just don't want to see it, but I think, like you say, anyone who's truly a fan of space for the sake of space will want many companies to be involved in all that kind of stuff. But I'll get off my Apple box and stop ranting now. So yeah, but really there are really important times ahead, and it's going to be fun. I can't wait to see people back at the moon. Things like that, commercial space stations and everything. Just yeah, it's going to be really big. It's going to be really really big. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all a learning experience. That's like my whole take on life anyway. It's just everything's just a learning experience. You have bad days, you have good days. Sometimes you really, really, really badly mess up. Sometimes you have like massive wins. Um, yeah. And even these big companies are not immune to that. Maybe you just get one bad manager who pushes a decision and something like that. Or maybe it's just an idea that's not fully thought out and you don't think of the negative repercussions of those actions, and then that press release or whatever goes out and it's like, whoops, that came off way worse than we intended it. I don't know. I'm not trying to make excuses for anyone, but I think there's probably more to these things than meets the eye, I reckon. Anyways, so we're approaching 150 points. So I'm just filling in gaps right now, so I apologize. I'm not really talking through it. I'm just kind of powering through to get this done. I'm just going through, seeing where there's gaps, and we're just going to fill those gaps. Where are we at? So many labels. We could do with some, probably down in here. It's a bit cloudy. Yeah, this is fun. I need to stream more often. Again, it really just comes down to time. Sometimes I just don't really feel in the mood to be talking for 3 hours, and I just want to sit and process imagery on my own. Because at heart, I really am just an introvert who likes to be in a quiet space and doesn't like to talk much. But sometimes it's good to put yourself out on the internet in front of a bunch of strangers and talk for 3 hours. I try not to think about it too much, otherwise it freaks me out. But it really is. It's good fun, and it's nice to know there's some people out there who really do appreciate this kind of stuff, like I do. That's another thing. I've always had this mentality of like, if you enjoy something, there's going to be other people out there who do. You just got to try and find them, even if your interest is super niche, like georeferencing declassified spy satellite imagery. Maybe there's only one other person on the planet who likes it, but hey, it's better than nothing if you ask me. All right. Actually, I'm going to throw one more down here just because I feel like this needs it. I've heard both soapbox and applebox. I've also heard people say like pedestal and like podium. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever used that term before myself. So I think I just kind of picked whichever one came into my brain first. We do have some really weird sayings over here. I probably shouldn't get into that. But yeah, it is interesting how sayings change depending on where people live. I said I was going to go to 150 and stop, but I'm now at 152 and I'm adding 153. I just can't help myself. I just want it to be as accurate as possible. The hills. I'm not going to worry too much about the hills, I don't think. Just put one down by this intersection down here, which is like there-ish. Close enough, I reckon. All right, let's do it. I'm not going to compress it because it's going to take forever. I can compress it later and save time. Okay. So that's going to process. It's probably going to take probably like 30 minutes. So now we figure out what we do in the meantime. What can we do in the meantime? You know what? I'm going to run you through. Well, it's not really much to run through, but my website, I did update a few minor things a few weeks ago. I don't know if I tweeted about them or not, because usually when I make changes, I do like a little, almost like a change log, I guess. I haven't had much time to work on my website. It's a little bit out of date for me. But specifically with the Declassified gallery, I have added a search box because it's originally I was just going to do like space plots and stuff. But as you can see, I have like random places. So I went through like the Soviet Union looking at towns and stuff. I've got Long Beach. Actually, here you go. That's one of what we're doing right now. Yeah, my favorite. This is probably my favorite KH-7 shot. It's just like off nadir, at an angle, and it's just beautiful lighting with the snow and these steam plumes and whatnot. Just gorgeous. So yeah, I implemented a search thing, so you could just come in. You can type. I don't know what's a location. I'm blanking. Let's say you want to look at aircraft carriers. I haven't added all of them yet, but you can go to Norfolk, whatever. Australian tries to pronounce words. So you can narrow it down by there, because these locations, these are all like spaceflight locations, right? So I might adjust these filters at some point. But you can do a search. The only issue with the search right now is you can't search for tags. So like I have all the images that have the N1 rocket, they have a tag of just N1 or even rocket, but currently the search doesn't pick up tags. And I can't figure out why right now. There seems to be some little blinking issue somewhere, but I'll spend some time on that. Yeah, getting back to QGIS to answer your question, Ben. So right now, the software is processing, so it's georeferencing. Actually, can I drag that across? Here you go. You should be able to see that now. Yeah, so it's georeferencing the layer. Why did I stretch that? That looks... There we go. So basically, it's applying all the points. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's applying all the points to the image. So basically, the KH-9 image is just being almost like it's being re-exported, but with the geo information, I guess, of where it should be located on a map, if that makes sense. So once this processing is done, you'll see the KH-9 image thrown onto the map and it'll be in the right location. So then at that point, I can go through that into like Google Earth, or I'll be uploading it to Soar on their digital atlas. And so it just knows where to load into the right place on a map. I don't know if I'm explaining that well. When it comes to verbally explaining things, I tend to confuse myself. But I do hope that helps. It's basically just, yeah, re-exporting the image, but in the correct location on the map. Curve matching, I'm not sure. We can play with that. We can have a look at 3D. Once this is done, we can throw it on a 3D terrain map. Yes, the altitude. So it's a long lat or lat long, whichever way you want to look at it, and then altitude, I believe. Actually, that's a good question. I'm not quite sure. Because I believe it's still a flat image, but if you were to put it onto a terrain map, it will map to the terrain, if that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, I can show you once this is done processing. And yeah, you can view it on top of a 3D map if you have the right software, which this does have. But I don't know if the actual file includes the information, to be completely honest. Yeah, I don't know the technical details. Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking, because it actually makes me think about these things instead of just. Sometimes I just don't look into how it actually works and I just throw it in. But hopefully, when I show you once this is done, it will, it will make sense, I guess. It'll help me explain it, I think. You probably could 3D print it, but at that point, I think you're basically just printing a terrain map, so the imagery itself doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think you'd just be printing a terrain map at that point. So unless you had like a 3D printer with color, then I don't think it would change much. Because if you had like stereo images, you might be able to add some like 3D mapping height, especially with like the mine and stuff. And stereo pairs of images do exist, and I know people have played with it a little bit. Like I had some of New York, and obviously with the city out there, you can do a bit of a 3D thing with it. That's way out of my wheelhouse, to be honest with you. I have no clue how to do that. But I've seen people play with it, and yeah, you can extract like elevation information from that, and kind of turn it into like a 3D map, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. We just gotta wait for this to churn through right now. Yeah, but yeah, if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate. Even if I don't know the answer, I'd rather you ask a question and me say I don't know than not be asked at all. Just in case I do happen to know, but you know what? This might take a while, so what I can do is just dig through here. Okay, this is another image I've been working on recently, and I've just been kind of doing it in my spare time. So we'll get this loaded up, and I can show you the 3D portion of this. It has been a little while since I played with 3D, so we'll see how well I remember the process. But this is an image of Baltimore from a KH-9, and now we have to download some terrain data. So like this, and hit download. I hope this isn't going to kill my connection. I didn't think about this. Yeah, you saw my password, my username. That's fine. You didn't see my password. It's all good. I see a question, Ben. I'll get back to you once I just quickly finish this. Just now I got this on my mind. I just want to quickly see if we can do this. I believe, yeah, this is this it? All right. Here we go. So let's see if this works. Oh, it's low resolution. Okay, I need to zoom in somewhere first. Where is the most hilly part? So what we have, okay, let's take a second. So what we have is a terrain map taken from the space shuttle in, I don't remember what year it is, but it's like a LiDAR, I guess, radar kind of thing. And I believe this is the same model that they use on Google Earth for the 3D. So you get all the hills and valleys and whatnot. And so you put that into QGIS and you come into somewhere like this where there's a valley. And you pop into here and you can go like that. And it's not a very extreme area, but you can see there are hills to it. I purposely cropped out a lot of the hills on the image because I didn't want to georeference them. I wonder if I can exaggerate it. Give me a exaggeration. Here we go. So this is going to look very unrealistic, but you can see. I hope this answers your question, Ben. Obviously exaggerated by 10 times, but the image maps to the terrain, if that makes sense. Obviously, like bridges and stuff don't count because they just kind of fall into, yeah, there's no information there. But it does map into the terrain, and you can see, like, yeah, these hills up here. There's something on top of the hill. Even up here, you can see this valley, and there's like I don't know if that's a road or a rail line down there. And then there's the bridge going across the top. So that would be going over here. Yeah, you can do these sorts of things. I think you can throw it into Blender if you wanted to make a really custom kind of thing. So yeah, once the image of San Francisco is done being georeferenced, we can do the same thing, and we'll be able to see that mountain in the southwest corner compared to everything else. Yeah, I'm glad that explains it. It's so much easier to show it than try to explain it with the words when I don't have a visual to go along with it. Actually, it looks like these like highways and stuff might be under construction at the time, but yeah, it's pretty awesome, isn't it? You can do some really cool things with it. I did one of Hong Kong a while back, and that was just incredible. All the hills, and you could see how everything was built up into the hills, and it's so cool. And I don't remember how to do this, but I think there's a way. Oh boy, I don't know if I should do this now. But there is a way that you can like record a video. You can get. Oh, here we go. Animation, camera motion, keyframe. Oh boy. And so you can like kind of come around and add keyframes if you wanted to make like a nice video. Something like, there you go. Just a quick keyframe kind of thing. So that's just on loop. And then you could make a video out of it if you wanted to like fly through a valley or something like that. I honestly haven't played around with this that much. I've mostly just done it just to be like, oh, that's really cool kind of thing. But I have seen people make really detailed videos with this, and yeah, import all sorts of like building height maps and just amazing things. Yeah. I mean, how awesome would that be? I'll stop this now just so we don't get dizzy. Of all major airports in the flight approach, oh, that would be really cool. Actually, speaking of airports, like that's been one of the goals in the back of my mind. I'd love to have KH-9 imagery of all the major airports in the world. That's just another time-consuming thing to do. But that is part of my process right now, just going through and looking at images of cities. Like I've done I've done New York, I've done San Francisco multiple times, I've done um, I'm forgetting now, but I've done like cities all over the world, and I just want to do more and more. And I purposely include airports. I make sure airports are in there because I like planes. That too, like I think it's cool. And sometimes you'll see planes taking off and things like that. Yeah, um, I hope that helps explain all of it and kind of show it off a little bit. And I believe you had another question. I'll close this one. I'll get back to that another day. 82% Roma said. Back to my website and aircraft carriers. How many do I have? To be honest with you, right now, most of them are not on the website. Just because I haven't had time. So the best place to see them. Did I close that tab? I did. Shame on me. Shame on me. 1 second. I think I shared the link in here earlier, but the forum thread on NASA Spaceflight is where I've shared all of them so far. Let's see if I can do a quick count for you, just because. But I can't do that, and I could probably make like a. Boy, where did it start? Here we go. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think it's been that many. 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I did like 3 more. 10, 11, 12. 12. So I've done like 12 actual images, but with all the aircraft carriers visible in them, there's probably like 20. Because some of them, like this one, there's one down here. And then I don't know if you count that as an aircraft carrier that looks like a helicopter carrier or something. And then there's this guy up here as well. I think there's some that have like 5 aircraft carriers in them or something like that. Yeah, I hope that helps answer your question. But it's just something I'm continuing working on because the people on the NASA Spaceflight forum seem to be really interested in just. Oh, where did I go? Tracking down what's what, and yeah, I mean, look at these shots with them in dry docks and everything like that. Yeah, very, very cool. Pointing them out like this, and yeah, they're the ones identifying which carrier is which. Oh yeah, enjoy the launch, Ben. I'm probably going to throw on the stream here, and we'll probably chill and watch it here while QGIS is processing. But do go enjoy the launch. If you get any pictures, please feel free to share them. Okay, we got 12 minutes. Awesome. National Reconnaissance Office mission too. I thought it was a Starlink. It is NROL 186. Nice. That's cool. Okay. Yeah, once the stream starts, I'll pipe it in and watch it because. Oh, we're at 100% processing. Nice. I wish I could just walk outside and watch a launch. All right, where are we at? Cool. Okay, they don't have the stream up yet. Sorry, I'm just checking to see if the Falcon stream's up, but it's not yet. Cool. Yeah, enjoy the lunch. I hope you get a good view, and yeah. That's awesome, Mason. What satellite was it? I haven't done satellite track. Oh, look at this. Sorry, I'm distracted. Let's turn off these points. Cool. Look at that. That blends in so well. That looks incredible. I'm very, very happy with this. Whoopsie. All right. So now I'm going to compress it. Declassified. Yeah, I used to go looking at satellites. I don't know where I was going with this story. I don't know if I ever told the Iridium story. Um, oh, nice. That's awesome. If you use something, there's a program called Stellarium, and it's free, and you can use that, and it shows satellites and like stars and everything. So if you get the exact time and your location, you should be able to find out which satellite it was. There are a few other tools that you can use for that as well, but yeah, if you want to find that out, you can use something like that, or even heavensabove.com is really good. Okay, cool. I'm just compressing over on this other screen. I know you can't see it. Just kind of just saving time right now. What are we doing? 20.1 compression. Cool. SpaceX stream has started. Hey, awesome. Thank you. Where are we? Whoopsie. Turn that down. Okay, cool. Let's just drag that over here, because why not? And while that compresses, we can watch a rocket launch. Because why not? We all seem to be rocket fans here, so. And this is oddly fitting, a spy satellite launching on a spy satellite stream. How good is that? This is perfect timing. Cool. Yeah, I hope you find out. Yeah, I remember the first and only time I ever saw an Iridium satellite. That was just crazy to me. Actually, sorry, I don't know if this audio is coming through. I did not even look at that. I do apologize if that. Okay, there's no desktop audio pushing through. Do we want the SpaceX stream audio to come through at all, or should I just blabber on it without any audio? When it launches, I'll get rocket audio. Don't worry, I'll do that. But we probably don't need the hers, do we? I saw the Chinese space station once. What I might do. Okay, cool. I just put some audio on so I can hear what's going on. Yeah, I saw Chinese space station once, and I believe that was just after they unfurled the solar arrays, I think. I think, because that was why it was so bright. I tried to see it just after they launched the module on its own, but I couldn't see anything. And then after they unfurled the solar arrays, I saw it, I think. That was a while ago now. It was probably like 2 or 3 years ago, but yeah. Let's change the banner. And watching launch. There we go. Yeah. There's nothing better than seeing a space station. Like, satellites are cool, but space station, and there's humans up there, that's like, yeah, there's nothing better than that. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to put this down to 720, because it's just going to buffer. I've never seen the Starlink trains. I'm very happy you got to see one. I've never seen them. The closest I have seen one to launch, they were still quite spread out. So it was like one coming over the horizon. Well, not over the horizon, but it was probably like, if you hold your hand up to the sky, it was probably like that kind of distance apart from each other. So they were quite spread out. But I really want to see one of those ones where they're like right together. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should pay more attention to that. Try to see one, because that would be cool. For the first year or so of Starlink, I was definitely keeping an eye out, but it just never worked out. Okay, cool. It's either them or it's Twitter's amazing streams. Yeah, I'll just keep it at 720 just to keep it calm. Let's just talk about how beautiful this shot is right now. Like, that's a gorgeous shot of the nice blues, and yeah, that's really nice, and the lighting and gorgeous. Nice. That's really cool. That's really cool. Let me just have a quick read about this mission instead of just sitting here quietly. What are we doing? Okay, oh, they just showed the drone ship, so of course it's a drone ship recovery. Yes, that makes sense. 66 mission of the year. Wow. That's insane. That's absolutely nuts. I remember back when it was like one launch a month was like crazy. And now it's like 3 a week or whatever it is. Absolutely nuts. Good old Slick 4 as well, right? I'm glad they're trying to push up the amount of launches coming from Slick 4 and Vandy. There goes the strong back. Just a little bit. That poor old strung back compared to the ones at the Cape. This one just gets roasted, if I remember correctly. I've never commented on a rocket stream before, so I mean, I guess I'm not really adding commentary, particularly for the rocket, but awesome. Thanks for that website. I would definitely check that out. Let's see. Just tweet something out quickly. And now watching a spy satellite being launched. Cool. Yeah, I honestly didn't plan this out. I didn't know there was a launch today. I have not been keeping up to date. And I just happened to get a notification saying that there was one about an hour ago. So let's see what we can get. I hope you get good views out there, Ben. I hope the weather's behaving. It is fun. It is fun. This is just kind of a bit more chill. It's actually good just to kind of just relax a bit after all that focusing on georeferencing an image. Just chill and enjoy a launch. Yeah. All right. Getting to the tail end now. Let me just check my audio. Okay, my audio is not bleeding into the mic. Good. I have it on very quietly so I can hear what's going on. I will switch on desktop audio so you can hear the stream when it launches, but I'm just gonna wait till there's not so much talking. I'll try not to be too loud. I don't know what the audio levels are like on the stream. I mean, it's showing green on my end, but I just don't want it to be too loud. Okay. Just put it on quietly. Let me know if it's like too loud or if you want it to be boosted a little bit or something. Yeah, no worries on typos at all, Mason. Trust me, when I'm typing, typos everywhere. It's a mess. Okay, here we go. 25 seconds. Man, that's just such a gorgeous shot. Amazing.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Circle.
T-minus 10.
At 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And
Beautiful. Look at those umbilicals falling off. Always my favorite part. Liftoff is cool, but umbilicals are something else. And then they get roasted.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. Stage 1 chamber pressure nominal.
Through the fog layer. Nice. Oh, look at that shot. Man. That, I guess it's sunset out there. What time is it in Oh, it's like 8 p.m. So that red light, is that just like the light from the exhaust bouncing off the clouds? Have they got an SES logo burnt into the stream? Am I seeing that correctly? It looks like it's gone away now. I thought I saw an SES logo burnt into the stream. That's probably from the one of their last launches, or SES, right? Not trying to shame them, just something I noticed.
Max Q. And there's that call out for Max Q. Coming up next, we'll have 3 events.
It's beautiful.
In quick succession, starting with MECO, followed by Stage Step, and then SES1. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, is where all 9 Merlin.
Hope you're getting good views of this right now, Ben. I know there's been some epic launches out there recently with the big exhaust cloud being lit up. Oh yeah, there's a bit of sunlight, so you should have another show, right? Look at that. Especially once they get to staging.
And in addition to these 3 major events, the fairing halves will separate less than a minute after SES1. So keep an eye out for all of these events happening in about 30 seconds from now.
Man, that flame is epic.
And as a reminder, we will not have any views of Stage 2 or the
no Stage 2 views for a spy satellite mission. I wonder why. I wonder why. And look at that. Yeah, there's an SES logo burnt into the shot. Whoopsie. Unless SES somehow a part of this, it's an NRO mission.
Stage separation confirmed.
Alright, here we go. Time for that big cloud.
MVAC ignition.
Whoa, you can see that. Damn.
And SES1. Coming up shortly, we should hear a call out for fairing separation, but as a reminder, we will not be
Northrop, yeah.
Both payload fairing halves supporting tonight's mission are flight proven, with one half flying for its 13th time and the other flying for its 7th time.
Beautiful. What a smooth launch. They've really got this down, huh?
Fairing separation confirmed.
Yeah, you got to get those people to go out and see a launch. You know, if you live right there, all you have to do is just step outside and take a look, just like what Ben's doing. It'd be crazy not to, really.
We're currently at T+3 minutes and 36 seconds into today's mission. Now, the next major milestone.
Let's see.
Minutes from now will be the entry burn of the Falcon 9 booster as it continues on its journey towards the Of Course I Still Love You drone ship currently stationed in the Pacific.
No one's posted pictures yet.
To start the entry burn, we'll relight 3 of the M1D engines, which is similar to pumping the brakes to slow down the vehicle as it passes back into the Earth's atmosphere. We need to slow the vehicle down to reduce forces, which will then help us recover and reuse the first stage. Now, during the entry burn, Falcon 9 is decelerating by firing...
Yeah, I agree, Ship 26. Those people just... You know, it's one of those things that you just take for granted, right? You know, I mean, it's kind of a way I look at it. Like, I feel like sometimes I take my night sky for granted because there's not much light pollution, and I'm not out there every night, even though I know I should be. I'm just like, oh, I can go see it another night, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm sure there are people who are just even like out by the Cape. They might not go and watch every launch, and us people who don't live anywhere near there are like, how can you not want to watch every single launch? It's like, are you mad? But I guess when you live there, sometimes you just can't be bothered, and you're like, oh, there'll be another one tomorrow or next week or something. But yeah, it's just one of those interesting things, and I guess some people just don't have an interest at all. They're just like, eh. And as crazy as that is for nerds like us, it's just everyone has their own preferences, I guess, and that's fine. That's fine. More fun for us. Yeah, if you can ever go and see a good night sky, I would highly recommend it. Just go out there and sit out in the dark and just really, really take it in. It's something magical, to be sure. To be for sure, not to be sure, for sure. I messed that up earlier as well. I love seeing those RCS little puffs. And the Georeferencing mood, just like, it's like the vehicle's alive, It's just like figuring its way down, and it's always so cool. Nice entry burn, very good. Nice and clean.
Vehicles are on nominal trajectories.
You can see that cloud layer approaching. Those bloody clouds. Is that some heating on the grid vent? Looks like it. Oh, and it's cooling down. Maybe that was light. I'm not entirely sure. Man, that's so cool. Seeing it come in at the angle, using its own body just to provide some lift. That's truly epic. Yeah, I thought it might be sunset colors because there weren't many like sparks or anything coming off of it, like you sometimes see. Yeah. Do I see the drone ship down there? Is that like a light underneath the left grid fin? That might be the drone ship. Yeah, I think that was. You could see the lights of the drone ship. That's pretty cool.
Stage 2 terminal guidance.
As a reminder, this booster is set to land on the Of Course I Still Love You drone ship currently stationed in the Pacific Ocean.
Landing leg deploy.
That shot, you could see the flame coming out of the engine, the exhaust, through that smoke, and you could really see the details. That was epic. Man, they make it look so easy. It's not fair. But that's so cool. Never gets old. It never gets old. And look, they're also chill. They're just like, yeah, another launch. So what? That's very cool. So yeah, another spy satellite on its way to orbit, and it's gonna get images that we're all crazy jealous of. Let's just mute that, and I'll mute on my side as well. Cool. Well, with that, I think we should go back to this. That was very cool. Good little mental break there, instead of staring at these pixels. And yeah. All right, so where were we? I compressed the image. So let me just uh-oh. QGIS is churning. Okay, I'm gonna close the Georeferencing window because you guys can't see that anyway. All right. So now we have a. Oh, it's loading. Give it a second. Let's give it a second. I don't want to crash it because I haven't saved the QGIS project yet, which in itself is fine because everything else is saved. It would just be a little inconvenient. It's churning. Let's just give it a second. Cool. Okay, we're good. We're back. All right. So we have, look how good that looks. So one of the reasons for compressing images is not only to save storage space, because the original, wow, really? Okay, it was not as big as an image as I thought, so I actually over compressed it. I'm gonna compress it one more time, but with less compression. I'm not showing this on screen on purpose, just for reasons. I'll clarify another time. But when I do get a chance, once I just need to seek clarification on something from someone else before I can share this. But what was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say now. A bit bright outside. That's awesome. Never gets old. I hope you were able to see it there, Ben. I think that exhaust plume should have lit up at least a bit. Your sun must set really late out there, because it is. Yeah, it's 8:30 out on the west coast. Here, our sun sets at like 5:30. So it's a little bit crazy to me when I hear people having sunsets at like 8 or 9 o'clock or something like that. It's pretty wild. So, oh yeah, I was talking about compression. Let me just remove that one from QGIS. So I don't just compress images just to save size. Like I also do it because you see how grainy this image looks on the screen right now. It's a bit like, I don't know, it just doesn't look great when you zoomed out. When you zoom in, it's fine. I'm not going to zoom in right now just because it's a large file and it would take a long time to load. But yeah, it looks kind of grainy. But when I drop the compressed file in, it looks much cleaner. So it just helps the image look nicer at all different zoom levels. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the elevation information down. Downloading 2 images, cool. Logging. Just save my credentials, please. Cool. Downloaded. Nice. Oh, only one. I'm glad I didn't close that. Is that alright? The other one's just chilling. Oh, is that already done? Might be already done. Okay. Sorry, I was a bit confused at what was actually happening. Okay, cool, the other. So let's go in and do this. Here we go, look at that. So what I'm going to do again is I'm actually going to exaggerate the elevation just to make it more obvious. We'll go 5 times the normal amount. I don't know why I can't get it to load in a higher resolution. Like, that seems to be about it. I'm not sure exactly. Okay. Exactly what's going on. But we have our KH-9 image. And there you go. You can see how... I don't know if I even needed that exaggeration on it. Let's just put it back to 1. Let's see. Because that looks like... I mean, yeah, you can see just how this mountainous area just stands out from the rest. That's really cool. That is really, really cool. Whoopsie. I'm not used to these controls. and it's pretty flat until this northeast corner up here. There's a bit of a hill. Just you can see it kind of just. I don't know how to try and frame this correctly. But you can see it kind of jumps up there, just around that. But yeah, that's I know I ran through it earlier with the 3D stuff, but that's just an example for this current image that we're working on. So yeah, if I don't know if there's anything interesting you'd want to do with this, but if you want like a bit of a guide on how to pull this information, I'm happy to provide these TIFF files for everyone. They're all open and whatnot. So if you want to play with them, just let me know. But coming back into here, just post. Oh, you posted. Let's have a look. I'm just gonna quickly do this over here. Oh, there we go. Nice. Hey, that's a pretty good trail still. That's very nice. I'll give you a like. There you go. That's awesome. I'm glad you got to see it. Compared to everyone here only being able to see the stream. How crazy is this world? You can just walk out to your backyard and see a rocket launch. What they launch from Vandenberg, like what, once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that at this point. That's pretty awesome. That's very, very cool. Okay. What are we up to? I think we're pretty much done. I think the image is ready to go. It's being compressed. Yeah, it's in the right position on the map. I want to see how accurate this mine is because it's up in the hill. A lot has changed, but if you look at look at this tree line. That's actually not too bad because that tree line doesn't look to have changed almost at all, and it's probably like a few meters off. So it's not bad. Then there's like our antennas up here. They're pretty accurate. Look at that. That's pretty good. Whatever this is up here, it's not too bad. It's a little bit off, but I'm not going to spend time perfecting hills, especially when there's nothing relatively important up there. You can see all these streets. They look about the same, which is nice because those are all on hills. These streets look the same. This is awesome. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm very happy with how this turned out. This is a great test. How accurate is this intersection, actually? That's really good. I wonder what the angle on this image was, because to me, it looks like this was almost taken directly top down. What's the tall building? These are pretty. Yeah, I reckon this image was taken almost directly straight down. Oh, you can see a little bit of a wall here. Okay, there's an angle. So it was looking from the south, it looks like. How many other tall buildings nearby? This airport should have a control tower, right? Or is this too small of an airport? See one. But I mean, yeah, I'm very happy with how this turned out. This is good. It's been a very productive stream, I must say. I reckon we're ready to run. We can upload this baby and get it going. All right. So, okay, let me just grab this over here. And then we'll come to here. Cool. All right. So now we're going to upload it to Soar because it truly is where I store all of my goodies. So we drag in the file that we spat out and exported. What am I going to call it? What is this like? What even is this area? I didn't even look into that. Let's throw on I'm not too familiar. Are we gonna call this like we call this like San Jose-ish? It's not, doesn't have the middle of San Jose. Like, I don't know what to call this. Anyone familiar with the area? Please give me a name. Like, it's not really like South San Francisco is up here. I could just cheat and just call it like Moffett Field and surrounding area, but that seems kind of lazy. This is always the hardest part, names. I'm gonna let my brain think on that, and I'm gonna grab some information that helps me fill out what I need to, because I like to include like metadata and things like that with what I'm doing. So where is, I got too many things. So I'm just gonna come over to here. I know you guys can't see this. I'm just gonna quickly do this because it's not that exciting. I'm just grabbing numbers and stuff, and I'll throw them on this screen, which you guys can see. Cool. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy a template that I have and throw it up on here, and then we'll just have to change the values to meet the image, I guess. that's a very simplified way of putting it, but this is actually one from another San Francisco image I did, but it was more of the Bay Area, not the area that we're covering now. Okay, so I just want to switch out the actual file. Is this guy, the date is 1979 04/28. We are mission number 1215-2. The frame number is 7. Oh, and then we get to include a new one. Image type. Oh. It's color infrared. Cool. Infrared. Camera. This is taken from an aft camera. Resolution of 2 to 4 feet. I measured it to be 2 meters, so I'm just going to call it that. Polarity is positive for this. Positive. And operations number is 360, which I don't remember what the operations number exactly means, but I like to throw it in there anyway, just for fun. We're going to go history for categories as well as urban. And we're going to call this, just for search, I'm going to call it San Francisco, and then like Bay Area, San Jose. I keep feeling like I see the chat scroll, but it's just a figment of my imagination. Oh boy. What have I done? Okay. Declassified satellite. We're gonna call it infrared because it kind of is infrared, but not really. It's gonna be around 2 meters per pixel. Okay, I just gotta re-edit my template just to make sure we have the correct information. I'm just gonna call this San Jose because, and I like to include a Wikipedia link just because, in case anyone wants to read more about the area. That's something I like to do at least. And then there's a link to more about the satellite itself. And then we'll talk a little bit about Tag Airport. Yes, good call. Good call. What else is in the image? There's an airport. There's I guess there is a mine, or is that a quarry? I don't know exactly what that is. Nah, that's not our main focus. We got 2 airports, so airport definitely deserves a tag. Actually, there's a third one up here, isn't there? There's this little guy as well. That's good. We can always add more tags later on if there is anything we missed. Okay. Then I'll add a little paragraph here saying this image was originally captured in. Is it near infrared or infrared? Let's do a quick Google over here. KH-9 infrared. Hmm. Infrared. Oop. Apparently, don't really see too much information on it, to be honest. At least just done a quick search. There might be more after. Apparently near infrared it had. I'll just leave it as infrared. It's close enough. It doesn't matter. Captured in infrared color. We'll do American spelling color. However, geez, I cannot type. This image was the image was processed to represent true colors, I guess. True colors to be what do we want to say? Like, I want to say like easier to understand, but I feel like there's a better way to say that. To be, I don't know. I'm blanking on words. Google comes in handy again. To be more straightforward. Boom, like that. Straightforward. Cool. Something like that. San Jose, let's say area. Captured by blah, 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 blah. I'm also just going to tag NASA because there is a NASA facility, so why not? Everything else looks good. All those numbers are correct. There's a link to the USGS's website. Sure, let's hit upload. Let's go. Or not. Did I do something wrong? Did I forget? Oh, I didn't even put a title in. Colors to be more realistic. There you go. I like that. Realistic. Declassified satellite imagery of the San Jose area. Boom. And this was 1979. There we go. Cool. All right. I hope that doesn't affect the stream too much because Starlink's limited upload bandwidth, but we'll see how it goes. The stream seems happy on my end, so we should be okay. We're going for 3.5 hours. Oof. I'm gonna need a nap. So what I think what I'll be doing after the stream and after I take a break is I'll probably update my website to include a lot more of the images. I'll see if I can get that search function fixed as well. That's something I've been wanting to do for a few weeks. I do believe that's doing that. I think the actual search function for the whole site, you can search something like rocket and like it comes up with rocket lab. And then, yeah, these images that were tagged with rocket. So there was a rocket visible in this one on the launch pad. So you can see the shadow of the rocket very well, but there's a rocket right here in China. This is probably my favorite image of the year. A Russian rocket on the launch pad, and this is like 25 centimeter imagery or something like that from Airbus. Crazy impressive. So you can see that, and just the whole launch site. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous image. Super crisp. So yeah, if you are searching for anything on my website and the search in the declassified gallery doesn't work too well, just pop up to the search section up here and you can search for like N1, and there you go. So the images with the N1 in them, there you go. You can kind of see the rocket on the launch pad there. And then you can always come down to the full image and zoom in and see it in a north up direction. Up in here as it loads in, and you can do your slider comparisons to current day Google imagery and things like that. It's a little bit slow right now because I'm uploading, but that should be, it's done. It's done. Look at that. It might be still processing on their end. I usually try to give it a few minutes just to process, but that looks pretty good. Let's see what we got. Stream has been solid the whole time. That's really good to hear. Yeah, okay, it's still churning on their end. That's fine. That's not unexpected. I should just give it a few minutes, really. I don't want to break their system. Yeah, so this has been a very, very successful test. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I'm not ending it right yet, but I just want to thank you all for being here. I'm going to save a QGIS project. I'm just going to drag that over here to do that. Declassified, it was 7, which should be 3. Yeah, and just hit save on that. Cool. So I have that project saved. Yeah, and thank you for appreciating the images. You know, like I was worried when I started putting all the time into this, like, oh, no one's gonna care. But here we go. So I will throw this link into chat, so you can check it out for yourself instead of me zipping around on screen. But you can just pop in. As you zoom right in, it might be a little slow for a few minutes while it's still processing on Soar's side. Actually, that's pretty good because I did compress it down quite a lot, so it shouldn't be as much work for them. But you can flip it around to just Google Satellite, and we can come in and compare. It's loading. Okay, give it a second. Yeah, you can come in and compare everything up in here. This looks great. I'm really, really happy with this. Where's somewhere with change? Where's somewhere with a lot of change? Okay. The other image I did was, okay, here you go. The airport has changed a lot. Like out here. Says that loads in. And then boom, look at that. How much has changed? That's really, really cool. Yeah, I'll throw this up on my website so that'll be included as well. Yeah, this has been absolutely awesome. And I've got, I mean, how many images do I have uploaded to Soar? I have 416. Not all of them declassified. There are some that are aerial images, or like this satellite image of Space Launch Complex 6 at Vandenberg from the other day. Just keeping an eye on that because SpaceX is meant to be renovating that at some point to support Falcon. So that'll be fun. But yeah, let's just go back to this image. Look how good those colors are. I am very proud. We did it. Yeah, the transparency slider. I've said to the team at Soar so many times, like the transparency slider is the best feature, without a doubt. Just being able to jump in. I mean, let's come down here. There is a certain building here. What used to be like a hotel or something, and is now a big old spaceship office, you know. Very, very cool. And it's awesome to see what has changed and what has stayed the same. Yeah, it's very, very cool. Very cool. I think that's pretty much it. Does anyone have any like final questions before I call it a day and head to sleep? It's only 2 p.m. Yeah, you would never know. Would never know. I think the colors are still a little bit whack, but I would be interested to know how actual true color film would have looked taken from a KH-9. Maybe it would have looked exactly like this. But sometimes just some of these greens, like around these buildings, those look like infrared greens to me. Just kind of funny looking, a bit blue. But it's not the end of the world. You can still look at that and go, okay, that's probably some sort of shrubbery or whatever it is. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Ben. Thanks for showing up and chatting. It's always good to have people here, and I know Mason's been chatting. We've had a few other people jumping in, and it's just cool to hang out and share this with people. Because, like I say, if it wasn't for hanging out with you guys, it would just be me sat here doing it anyway. So it's good to share it with people and have a conversation, do some problem solving, learn new things. It's really, really cool. And yeah, I'll see if maybe next week or the week after I'll jump back on and I'll see if I can prepare the full image of, the San Francisco Bay Area kind of thing. And we'll see if we can flip that into color like this and get the whole thing done. I think that would be awesome. Maybe I can see if there's any infrared images of other places that are really cool. And we could do the same thing. Because KH-9 images are cool, but sometimes I do wish, I wish there was real color in them instead of them just being black and white. So this is just very cool. Just being able to see more color and be more realistic. Yeah. So I think that's it. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. It's been a great time. I really do enjoy these streams, and maybe I can plan something more. Maybe I can have some guests on soon or something like that, and do some collaborations or something like that. That'd be really cool. But for now, I think I might leave you with some satellite images. And, please do feel free to share this, share my website, whatever it is, leave a like and all that kind of stuff. It really does mean a lot to me. After the last stream just over 2 weeks ago, it actually passed 100 subscribers, which was really, really cool. I don't like to pay too much attention to milestones, but it's just, I didn't expect it to be too much. I just thought a bit of an archive of processing and hang out with some friends. So it's been a very cool ride. So yeah, and we watched a rocket launch. We watched a spy satellite get launched on a stream about spy satellite imagery, and that wasn't even planned. I swear that was not intentional. So that was very cool. But yeah, I'll stop rambling, and you all take care. Have a good day, good night, good morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. And yeah, I will see you all next time. So enjoy some satellite imagery.